The Price of Blind Love, a true story of sacrifice and forgiveness.
My name is Parveen, and this is not just a story, it is a wound that healed slowly with tears, prayer, and time. 30 years ago, my elder brother got me married. Back home, my brother had 5 daughters. I promised I'd help him. Then came the youngest one, Kiran. Bright eyes, stubborn smile.
She said, "Auntie, I love Sadiq." So I supported her.
It was a quiet evening in the restaurant. The customers had gone, the lights were dim, and I was counting the day's earnings when the phone rang. It was Kira. Her voice was trembling. I could hear it even before she spoke. She said, "Auntie, Sadiq hasn't worked in months. The business failed again. The children's fees are due, and I don't know what to do." My heart sank. I could almost feel her tears through the phone. I asked her, "How much do you need, Beta?" She whispered, "Just 1 lakh rupees, Auntie. Just till things get better." I hesitated for a moment, because just last month, I had sent money for school, for food, for their bills. But how could I say no? She was my brother's daughter, his youngest, the one I had promised to protect. So I told her softly, "Don't cry, my child. I'll send it tomorrow. Just promise me you'll stay strong and pray. Allah will make a way." And she cried even harder. She said, "Auntie, you're the only one who cares about me." Those words, they broke me, because I believed her. I didn't know then that behind those tears, there was a lie that would take 17 years to reveal it.
It was raining outside, the kind of rain that never stops, the kind that feels like it's crying with you. I was alone at home when my phone rang again. It was Kiran, and something in her voice told me this call was different. She said, "Auntie, I don't know how to say this." I asked, "What is it, Beta? What happened?" There was silence for a few seconds. I could hear her breathing. Then she said it. "Auntie, Sadiq has married another woman." For a moment, everything went quiet. I didn't hear the rain or my own heartbeat. I just sat there, holding the phone, staring at the wall. I wanted to ask her again. Maybe she meant something else. But her words echoed in my mind. "He has married another woman." I remember whispering, "Why, Kiran? Why didn't you tell me before?" She started crying loudly. "Auntie, I didn't know. I thought he would change. But he's gone." And I just listened. I didn't know what to say, because all these years I had prayed for her happiness. And now, this? After she hung up, I sat for a long time, staring at the teacup on the table. The steam had faded, but I couldn't move. It was as if my heart had stopped. Later that night, I went to the prayer mat, and I said, "Ya Allah, why is this happening to her? What sin did we commit?" Tears rolled down my face, and I realized I wasn't just crying for Kiran. I was crying for myself. For every sacrifice I made, for every rupee I sent, for every sleepless night, and for every time I believed that love could fix everything. That night I didn't sleep. The rain kept falling, and it sounded like my heart breaking.
A scholar whom I discussed my niece's situation told me, maybe she is not as helpless as she seems. Why she is not taking divorce if her husband didn't show up for so long and not participating in any financial affairs. Please search, don't just keep sending her money each month. 6 months later, I went to Pakistan, and when the door opened, it was Sadiq.
They had lied all these years.
I came back to the UK, but I wasn't fine. That night, as I lay in the hospital, drifting between sleep and tears, I saw a dream. The room around me disappeared, and suddenly, I was standing in a field of golden light. And there, I saw him. My brother. He looked just as I remembered him. Gentle, smiling, his eyes full of peace. He said, "Your test is over. You carried everyone's pain in your heart, and Allah has seen it." I stood there, crying, saying, "Bye, I tried to do good, but they hurt me so deeply." He smiled and said softly, "Then forgive them, Parveen. Forgive Kiran, my daughter. She lost her way. Don't let her sin become your burden." And then he placed his hand over my head and said, "Your heart was pure. That's why Allah chose you to forgive." I reached out to hold him, but he faded into the light. I woke up with tears on my face, but this time, they weren't from pain. They were from peace.
I began giving charity, quietly. I don't hate them anymore. I pray for them.
This was my story. The price of my blind love, and the mercy that came after pain. One day, I wrote a letter. Not to Kieran, not to Sadiq, to Allah. I thanked him for giving me a heart that could break, and still forgive.